Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. In this video, we're going over all the Star Citizen news for this week. This includes things like Alpha 4.3, what could be coming in this patch, as well as when we're getting official information on it. We have a free flight starting today, and we have the new referral ladder going live as well. And then we just have a few things here and there for Star Citizen across the board and for the month of July that could be really exciting and kind of just worth discussing. I am really excited for the month of July, and we're going to be going through all of that today. So if you are as well, feel free to stick around to the end of the video. And if you are enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe. I do have channel memberships open if you wanted to go the extra mile, and feel free to join the community Discord. I would absolutely love to have you there. Outside of that, let's get into all of the Star Citizen news for this week and just generally July. Starting it off, we have the new referral program starting today, as well as the Foundation Festival and a free fly alongside that. So, this event is all about welcoming in new players. And then, of course, with this new referral program, I think this is a great opportunity to get a head start on some of those rewards on the new ladder. And I think this is a really great opportunity just generally for a lot of players to come into the game. So, I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully, it should run a lot better than normal free flies because they do have a maintenance going on currently. So, hopefully, this runs really well, and some of you can get a jump start on that new referral ladder. Outside of that, today we also have a decent bit of information that should be dropping with Roadmap Roundup and Update, as well as the June 2025 PU monthly report. I think for the most part, we're going to get a decent bit of information on Alpha 4.3. We will be speculating as to what we could be getting in that patch in just a little bit here, but in just a few short hours, we should have a lot more official information. So I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, the monthly reports are always awesome to look forward to because we always get a little bit of information on some of those features that we really want to see. Now, getting into Alpha 4.3, we are going to speculate a little bit as to what could be coming in this patch. We're going to start it off with things that are very much more likely to come into the patch, and then as we go, it might get a little bit more far fetched. But starting it off, we do have the RSI Meteor. This ship, I think, is almost for sure coming in 4.3. I almost thought it was coming with 4.2.1, but at this point, I don't think it's going to make it in that patch. This ship, as we have seen in a few of the last sneak peeks, does look like it has some pretty hefty firepower, but outside of that, all we really know is that it is basically a Mantis variant. I am looking forward to the ship. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Mantis, but again, I really love to see just all the new ships that come to the game. And if it provides a unique ish role, I am looking forward to having it in the verse. Now, the next thing here that is, I think, by itself without leaks of potential to come in 4.3 is the regular Apex Valakar. Now, if you do remember from last week's video, there actually was some files that came up in 4.2.1 that referenced the regular Apex Valakars, basically possibly spawning around 4 associated mining facilities. This could be in reference to the Hathor mining sites, where after we fire the laser or something, the Apex Valakar could potentially spawn. Again, this is all referring to some files that came out last week, and there really isn't much set in stone around this, but I think there wouldn't be much of a surprise if we saw the regular Apex Valakar in 4.3. Now, something that is also a decently realistic expectation for 4.3, I assume we're most likely going to get a new Volt weapon, that being either the Volt Sniper or the Volt LMG. Personally, I think it's going to be the Sniper, as they haven't really mentioned the LMG as much, but then again, there really is no official information on that. Though, again, I think it's pretty safe to assume that just like how we've gotten for the last couple patches, we're most likely going to be getting a new Volt weapon in this patch. Now, something that I'm also pretty darn confident that we're going to see in 4.3 is the new sniper light armor that we saw last year at CitizenCon. This is something that was sneak peeked, I think, 2 weeks ago, and it was just a helmet sitting on a table. Obviously, I think there was some kind of hype behind the fact that a physicalized helmet was sitting by itself. Unfortunately, I just don't think that it's referring to that type of feature. I think it's mainly just referring to the armor by itself, though I would love it if we had actual physicalized armor outside of wearing it on our bodies, though that is a completely other can of worms. Outside of that, I do think that the sniper armor will be releasing with 4.3 and will most likely be something you can loot at whatever the new sandbox activity is for this next patch. Now, something else that is also somewhat more realistic is these possible Onyx facility delves. Now, this is related to last week's leaks from 4.2.1, but basically it's describing some sort of ASD facility just like what we have in 4.2. But in this case, it's more of a PvE and kind of linear mission where you're helping escort this doctor through this area to some sort of objective at the end. I'm not entirely sure what this is really focused on and if this could possibly be associated with the, regular Apex Valkyr, but we do have the leaks regarding it, and it does seem like an interesting idea. I don't think we actually have any in-person escort missions like this, so if this does release to the game, it does sound like it could be pretty exciting, though I'm not going to necessarily keep my hopes up because we definitely haven't seen a ton of information on it. Now, something that I think I'm far less confident that could be coming with 4.3, but still has some potential just given its content aspect, is the Area 18 Municipal Works. Now, this is something that, of course, was shown at last year's CitizenCon. It's very PvE oriented, much more linear gameplay that is instant. So it can be definitely much more, squad based, I suppose, if you want to bring a squad in. But it has a lot of potential to offer some really cool rewards and some really cool gameplay. Though the only thing is that last year at CitizenCon, it only was shown with concept art, so not something I'm entirely confident could actually release with this next patch because it just doesn't seem like there's been a lot of development time on it. Though I think CIG has kept their cards pretty close to their chest. So if we're gonna be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure if there's really like any updates on this or if they're working on it. I just think it's a very content-oriented type of update they could add, though, again, we don't really know how far along they are, so I wouldn't keep my hopes up. Now, something that I think is far less likely to happen, but at least has some evidence behind it, is the updated flight model possibly releasing in the near future. Now, this includes the updated space flight model, control surfaces, and even the updated quantum boosting experience slash just the whole updated quantum experience. This is something that they've been talking about a ton over the past month. Yogi has obviously responded to a lot of comments, and then they had that Star Citizen live that discussed this a decent amount in some pretty great detail. And last week, we also had a bunch of leaks regarding the quantum boosting experience in the files, as well as someone actually getting their hands on a work in progress version of this new flight model. So there has been a ton of stuff revolving around this new flight model, and I think they're very clearly working on it extensively, though I don't necessarily think it's a 4.3 release. Now, that's really all I have when it comes to 4.3 potential releases. I think it's still going to be a big patch with some sort of, sandbox activity like we've gotten over the past couple 4.x patches. Though, again, we don't really have a ton of information. I do think that the regular Apex Valkyr is a good potential, and we'll probably see another Volt weapon of sorts. But outside of that, nothing confirmed until hopefully later today with the updated roadmap. Now, something that is probably later July that isn't necessarily related to 4.3 is the EPTU possibly coming out with engineering in it. Now, this is something that is a long time coming and has been confirmed to be happening in some way by Thorsten and Jared at one of the kind of community events in Germany. Now, of course, they haven't given us a date or anything like that. They've really only told us that engineering is going to come first in the EPTU and then things like FPS radar and scanning. But outside of that, it's really kind of up in the air as to when it should happen. I'm pretty confident on July, just given the fact that they've been working on engineering for such a long time and the progress tracker work for it is finally up and it has been for a few weeks. I really do think it's something they're trying to get in our hands for testing as soon as possible, but I'm just not entirely sure when. So my guess is that by the end of July, we'll at least have news on it, if not have it in our hands by then. But again, this is kind of just speculation, though I am really, really hoping we see engineering this month. Unfortunately, I won't be able to necessarily get you the official information when it comes to 4.3, but I would love to hear your thoughts as to what you think is releasing in that patch and also when we might see the EPTU open up. Again, there will be a lot of information that drops after this video, so feel free to check that out, see if I'm anywhere near correct about 4.3, and maybe with just a hint of luck, we'll see something about the EPTU, but again, I just wouldn't keep your hopes up. Something to keep an eye out for, though, tomorrow is a Star Citizen live regarding earning in the verse. This is something that's going to go over all the ways we can earn things in the game. That be through, Wicklow, AUAC, or reputation. There's a bunch of different things here that I think could be really awesome topics, but I'm not entirely sure exactly what they're discussing, though. I think it's something you should keep an eye out for because it could have some decent information in it. Outside of that, that really is all I have for you today when it comes to speculation as to what could be coming, as well as the official information we have so far. Again, there's going to be a big information drop later today with the roadmap update, as well as the June monthly report. So Be prepared to check that out. It should have some really awesome news in it. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make an upload though. Outside of that, I really do think July will be a solid month for Star Citizen. I'm really confident that the EP2 is going to open up, or at least they're going to give us info on that. And I really do think that 4.3 could be an awesome patch, just like all the other 4.x patches. And believe it or not, CitizenCon is almost 3 months away now at this point. So it feels like time has flown by a ton since the last one. And hopefully there will be some nice information here. I know it'll be a smaller event, but I am still looking forward to it. And I think alongside that, I think just information for Squadron and Star Citizen will hopefully ramp up a decent bit as we get to that CitizenCon Direct. Outside of that, though, that really is all I have for you today. I really appreciate you sticking around and stopping by. And I really am looking forward to getting some more content out regarding what's coming in the near future. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.